I'm Katie Wells, host of the Maximized Minimalist Podcast. I escaped the hamster wheel of modern-day motherhood, overwhelmed by clutter and buried under the mental load. Now I live in a home that feels calm, manageable, and made for real life. I have margin in my days, energy for who matters most, and time for slow mornings and silly dance parties in the kitchen with my family. With over 5 million listens, the show has helped women around the world turn their homes into their happy place. Around here, we simplify for more peace, more presence, and more joy. We choose grace over guilt and progress over perfection. And we believe your home should give back more than it takes. I'm here to help you do the same. Come along with me and my guests as we share the real stories, habits, and strategies that help you lighten the load from the inside out. Pull up a seat, friend, and let's do this together. Ready, set, simplify. So last weekend, I woke up and my house was such a mess, y'all. Like so many more piles than usual. Stuff everywhere, piles on the counter, shoes by the doors, homework, papers on the table, like the kind of mess where you walk through your house and you're like, am I totally failing at being an adult here? Because that's kind of how it's feeling. And my shoulders were so tense and I was starting to feel very impatient, reactive, triggered. I know that's a big word that gets overused, but honestly, I don't know if there's a better way that encompasses how so many of us respond to clutter. We'll talk about why too in this episode. But here's the thing. When your home feels like that, your brain immediately starts spinning. Maybe through some of those thoughts you just heard me go through, but other ones like, how do I solve the problem? Do I need to declutter more? How do I know if I've decluttered enough? Do I need to reorganize? Do I need more bins? Should I print a new chore chart for the kids that they probably won't use? Like, what's the deal? What's going to solve my problem that is this mess of a house right now? And before you think, wait, doesn't she teach this for a living? How does this still happen to Katie? This is exactly why I'm telling you the story, because it's so important that we talk about this together, especially those of us in this simplifying space, that you hear it from us. We might have a lot of things figured out, but the end goal with these methods, strategies, conversations, mindset shifts, all the things we talk about on the show, the goal is not a perfectly tidy home 24/7. I hate to squash your precious little dreams. I once had those dreams too. I thought that was the end goal because that's what everything and everyone was promising me when I was struggling with clutter. Follow this step-by-step program and your home will be clutter-free forever. Follow this step 1 through 10 checklist and your junk drawer will be decluttered forever, right? The goal is creating an easy to tidy home. The goal is having an easier to manage home. Mess is going to show up regardless, no matter how organized we are, who lives with us, how organized they are, all the things. So I just want to say that first and foremost, we have to normalize this stuff. And this is exactly what this episode is about. When we are in this moment, shoulders tense, reactive, questioning our life, questioning our life choices, questioning how we ended up here. And we're looking around at the mess and piles and going like, this is the moment we need to figure out what kind of problem we have. Is it expected mess, which is normal mess that happens from living life? Is it true clutter? Is it a combination of both? Because the solution for one doesn't fix the other. And if you don't know, you're gonna waste time, energy, and money solving the wrong problem. Trust me, I did that for years. So by the end of this episode, you're gonna know exactly how to diagnose what's actually going on. So I don't know, put on your white lab coat, grab a pen and paper, get on your blue light glasses. We're going to geek out together. We're going to do some diagnosing. You're going to know exactly what's going on in your home and what solution or solutions are actually needed right now. Not what your favorite Instagram influencer says, not what the organizing guru says, like what your home needs right now. Hopefully this sounds very exciting and liberating to y'all. And like, we're tired of the cookie cutter methods, aren't we? Like we're here for like, what does my home need? So I'm going to walk you through my exact method for figuring that out and what to do next. And here's where so many of us, this was me too, have been conditioned to, in this moment, just react to it. So think about for a second, what is your default when you're in the moment that I've described? You wake up on a Saturday, or maybe it's like a Wednesday, midweek, you get home from work, you walk through the door. Oh my gosh, your house is screaming at you. What's your go-to in that moment? And this isn't a judgment call. This isn't like a, hey, you shouldn't do that. It's just recognizing our patterns. I'll tell you what mine used to be. It has evolved through the years. Number one, it used to be, oh my gosh, I just need to organize this. I just need to be more organized. And then all my problems will be solved. I bought the bins. I got the label maker. I tried the rainbow. Oh my gosh, the rainbow. And again, I'm not here to knock methods. I'm just saying that was my solution. I was throwing the wrong solution at my problem. The biggest problem I had back then was clutter. You can organize clutter all day long, but girl, we all know how that story ends, right? Then once I discovered decluttering and I was getting so much freedom and transformation from that, I was like, oh, when the house feels messy, the goal is my default is now declutter. Declutter first, organize second. But what if it's neither of those things your house needs, right? And this is really how this framework evolved throughout the years and why I continue to use it and teach it to my clients. If you're trying to organize your way out of a clutter problem, you are rearranging stuff you don't need. I wish someone told me that 10, 15 years ago. If you're trying to declutter your way out of an expected mess problem, congratulations, you just got rid of things that weren't clutter and your house still feels chaotic. I know some of you love understanding the why behind doing what you do and why behind what you feel when you are reacting to this messy house that happens to the best of us. I want to cover a couple quick things just for context on why this matters. Number one, mess and clutter raise stress hormones. I think this is so important because now it takes it from maybe you want to declutter for aesthetics. And by the way, don't we all? We want to, our brain craves order. We want that visual before and after because it feels so good. Even if you see a before and after and it's not yours, you're like, oh, I can breathe. I can breathe deeper looking at the after photo, right? Oh, our brains just love that. I totally get it. So mess and clutter raise our stress hormones. Research shows women who describe their homes as cluttered or messy have higher levels of cortisol. Now, instead of it just being an aesthetic thing, right? We're doing it because it's literally impacting our physical and mental health. When we have elevated levels of cortisol, again, that's our stress hormone, that can lead to a whole host of issues that can lead to anxiety, depression, stress, obviously, because it's a stress hormone, lack of stress resiliency, which is a big thing so many of us are facing. All these different things, fatigue. Wait a second, the clutter in my home could be making me feel worn out and burned out? Absolutely. And I know someone on the other line, because this happened to me before, is going, whatever, what's the saying? Causation or correlation is not the same as causation. No one said that. But there are studies and research that shows there is absolutely a correlation between clutter and cortisol. And let me give you an example. Why does this matter? When your body is in a low-grade alert mode, which it is when we are surrounded by mess or clutter, we're not going to feel good. We are going to be exactly how I felt last weekend. Triggered. Do I go She-Hulk? Do I burn it all and start over again? What do I need right now? And I'll give you an example. So a year ago, we were at Starbucks, me and some girlfriends. We were enjoying a nice coffee. It was a beautiful fall afternoon, and I was relaxed. Girl, my cortisol was as low as it could be. I was feeling good, getting some sunshine, drinking a latte, getting some girl time. And I look up from the outside patio at Starbucks here in Asheville, North Carolina, and a 250-pound black bear is literally sprinting right toward us, hurling its body in the air at lightning speed. And the four of us grip the table, and then my three friends beeline it and take flight as a normal person does in these crazy moments when your cortisol goes through the roof. And then there's little Katie, who unfortunately would be the first friend eaten in this situation, because my response is typically freeze. Does this sound familiar? This same kind of survival mechanism we have, whether it's a black bear or clutter, it's kind of the same thing. When I was overwhelmed by my clutter, I used to freeze, paralysis by analysis. I didn't know what to do. So I didn't do anything for many years. So anyway, my cortisol, imagine how high it went. Let's just say it went from 0 to 100, baby, real fast. And if that were a grizzly, I wouldn't be alive here speaking today. But thank God, black bears don't harm people for the most part. And it wasn't interested in me or my latte. Lucky me. Point being, now clutter isn't causing your cortisol to go to 100, like that black bear. But let's say it's causing it to go to 20 or 30 when normally it's at like a 10, right? Just random numbers here just to showcase this. That is what it's doing. Your clutter is like little tiny little black bears all around your house. Like, is it going to eat me? Is it going to kill me? What do I need to do right now? That panic mode is what clutter does. This is why it matters. This is for your mental health, your physical health, your relational health. Anyone else like ever argue or fight with their partner or their kids because of clutter? I mean, I'm raising 2 hands. You've been there, done that. And at this time of year, those effects multiply. The holidays layer this extra on top of our normal load. More decor, more gatherings, more logistics, more emotion, all the stuff. That's why our focus here is never on perfection or unrealistic end goals. It's on diagnosing the problem so you can solve the right thing. Okay, so here's a method. It is an acronym. If you know me, this is not a surprise. If you don't know me, welcome to one of your first of hopefully not too many acronyms you will learn from Katie Wells. So Dash, it's 4 simple steps that help you figure out when, like me, last weekend, you're like, something's off and I need to know what to focus on next. So clutter is the number one thing that makes managing a home more difficult. So we always start here, which is why Dash, the D stands for declutter. When you are looking around your house in that moment, thinking, questioning your life choices, right? Instead of questioning your life choices, because you're normal, happens to the best of us, you're going to go, do I have some clutter I can tackle here? Some low-hanging fruit? Is there simply too much here again for my brain? Right? The holidays add a lot. Maybe there's too much decor. Maybe there's extra coats. Maybe there's wrapping supplies that are out and about. And even still, maybe you need to declutter some of that extra stuff. You just simply don't need the excess. If yes, then you start there. Why? Because clutter is the number one thing that makes managing a home more difficult. Pop quiz. If that was your answer, congratulations, you passed. All right. This is always step 1. It's to ask, is there clutter to tackle? Okay. If this is done, or once this is roughly complete or good enough for now, or you're like, hey girl, Katie, I'm looking at my entryway. Looks like a tornado went through. I don't have any clutter. Then what? Then we go to the next letter in Dash, which is A, stands for assess or ask, right? We be bougie. We say assess. It's really ask yourself, okay? What's actually happening here? Is there more clutter that needs to go? Be honest. Be honest with yourself. Are you clinging to some of that scarcity clutter in your entryway? Those shoes that you never wear, but they're sitting there, right? The heels, the boots that you had so much promise when you bought them, but they just aren't comfortable and you don't wear them, right? Dig a little bit deeper, okay? And that's my little encouragement there. If there's not clutter, would it help to organize or reorganize this in a way that helps support my family's actual rhythms? Is it a system that slipped? Maybe you go, this is a disaster, not because like anything's really wrong. It's just we got busy and we stopped doing our family resets or whatever. Maybe it's a habit that's gone quiet. We diagnose before we take action, right? Save time, energy, money. Then you will gain clarity in that assess part. I promise you. And a lot of you at some point will then need to go to kind of this phase 3, which is systematize. I can never say that word. And honestly, I think I made it up, but we're here for it. If the same mess keeps reappearing in an overwhelming way, because remember, expected mess, I call it that, and you should consider calling it that too, because it helps remind us this is expected. I should not be surprised that once I complete the laundry, there is more dirty laundry to do, right? That's just part of it. However, that expected mess is becoming so overwhelming and triggering and whatever, then we can say, hey, is there a system we could put in place to solve this? Maybe it's not clutter. Sometimes it's not. A system, by the way, is a process that you follow. Some people freak out when they hear systems. They're like, I'm not a systems person. I am short-circuiting. And then there's people who are like, ooh, give me all the systems. I kind of fall in between, but I really have come to love systems because they have given me freedom. And when you use the right systems in a way that work for your life, they don't feel like hard, fast rules that you hate. They feel like freedom. So systems are repeatable, and the system you implement leads to the same result each time. That's the broader picture here. In a system, it's repeatable, right? And think of it this way. Systems are the dance and the habits are the moves. So that's why H and Dash is habitize. think I made that up too. It's all good. Habits make up a system, and a habit is also a repeatable action. So let's just say a system is a reset where you reset the room back to its baseline tidiness. You put the expected mess away and all of a sudden you can breathe again. You can feel a little bit lighter. Habits that might make up a reset are only handle it once. Inside Clutter Cure Club, by the way, I go deeper, way deeper into each of these steps. But even just this quick check-in we walk through can help you spot what's off. Is there clutter to handle? Declutter, assess what's happening, clutter, expected mess, systems, habits. What do we need here to solve this recurring pain point or minimize it, bring it down, make it more manageable? So that weekend I went through Dash when looking at the piles and realized quickly no new clutter. So D was done. Then I went to assess and saw that through the busyness of the week, we lost our family reset. That was really as simple as it was. And so my kids went back to doing their resets. And even though we stayed busier than usual, I implemented a plan B instead of just a plan A. A plan A in our case is you do a reset until the room is completely reset. But if my kids get home from 7:00 at night from basketball, we have to do a simplified version. That might just be setting a timer for 5 minutes and doing what we can, right? You have to do what works best for you and your family. Sometimes I want to just make sure you hear me out. I think a lot of us think, I need a whole weekend. I need to completely revamp my systems. I need a brand new, and we think we have to again, start from scratch. Maybe what you need is just 10 mindful minutes to go through Dash, even on paper, to kind of identify the bleed, so to speak, and find the right Band-Aid to put on top of wherever you need it. And that is going to create so much more breathing room in your house. And by the way, speaking of breathing room, I want to talk about actual air for a second, especially as we head into the colder months when most of us are keeping our windows shut and spending way more time indoors. Did you know that the EPA reports that indoor air can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air? This completely shocked me. I was like, nuh-uh, not my air. My air is clean. No, girl. It can actually be up to 100 times more polluted depending on your air, okay? And when you think about it, most of us spend nearly 90% of our time inside and take around 20,000 breaths a day. That's a lot of air we're recycling. So what's the solution? For me, it is our Air Doctor air purifier. I am obsessed. We've had one for a long time. Ours is running right next to me. It sits next to me as I record this. You can't even hear it, which I love about it. And it filters out 99.99% of contaminants. So your lungs, unless you have one, don't have to breathe it in. Things like allergens, pollen, pet dander, dust mites, mold spores, bacteria, viruses. Girl, my air is so clean now. Come on over and smell it. I will have you over anytime. And if you have pets like we do, we have 2 kitties. It is a total game changer for kitty litter dust. Oh my gosh. And just pet odor in general, which always seems to gross me out. So the best part is Air Doctor comes with a 30-day breathe easy money back guarantee. So if you don't love it, just send it back for a refund. And right now they're offering you, my listeners, up to $300 off their air purifiers. Just head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code MAX, M-A-X. That's airdoctorpro.com, promo code MAX for up to $300 off and your extended warranty. Okay, I want to show you quickly what this looks like in real life. I shared my example, but I'm going to share a few women inside Clutter Cure Club who are using Dash right now as we head into the busiest season of the year. Megan recently noticed her family room was starting to feel off again. Toys out, surfaces full, all the things. And the sense of didn't I just do this? Creeping back in. At first, she jumped to frustration, as many of us do. But then she was like, okay, I know what to do. She used Dash. She started with declutter, clearing a few things that had made their way back in, then moved into assess, and she saw another issue. The system that used to work for toy storage wasn't working anymore. Her kids were older, and what used to help was adding friction. So she adjusted the system. That was it. And she told me once I made those small tweaks, the space felt manageable again. It finally matched our current season of life. Then there's Jen, who used assess and systemize in her kitchen because her counters kept collecting things. It was driving her nuts, right? Instead of doing another big clean out, she asked, what's going on here? And realized everything landing there didn't have a real home. So that's why it was landing on the countertops. So she added a catch-all basket that gets people put stuff in, and as needed, she empties it once a week, papers, receipts, etc. It wasn't about perfection or finding the perfect system. It was simply putting something in place that was good enough to stop the daily chaos from building. And then there's Tanya. Oh my gosh, Tanya, her pain point wasn't physical clutter at all. It was actually mental clutter. She realized she was ending her day. She was doing a reset in her kitchen area and living room, and she was just feeling resentful when doing it. Man, she was like, ugh, I don't want this to feel so frustrating or just annoying. So she applied Dash, unbeknownst to me, to figure out what was missing. So she moved through the steps and landed on habitizing. So in Clutter Cure Club, we often talk about attaching new habits to something you're already doing, and how can you make habits more enjoyable? I get it. We don't necessarily like resetting the house every day. So she took that and she's like, how can I make resets more happy for me and joyful? So she put on her favorite music. She put her earbuds on. Her kids are asleep. She has a cup of tea to kind of reward herself after the reset's done. And now she looks forward to it so much more. And it's not something she's dreading anymore. She said, now is the moment. I really feel like I can exhale before bed. I'm like, that is priceless. Different homes, different situations, but the same outcome. Here's what I love. Each woman used Dash to identify what was off instead of just assuming the solution was start over from scratch or do more. And that's the point. Your home doesn't need to look perfect to feel peaceful. And I hope we all take like a deep breath in knowing that. You just need the right solution for the right problem. And once you solve that, everything else softens. Your house feels lighter. You feel lighter. Your cortisol comes down. The black bears go away. Okay. You can enjoy your latte in peace or coffee or tea or whatever your drink of choice is. And the season itself that we are heading into, even with all its extra, is going to feel more manageable again. I get like the goosebumps saying this. It's so true. If your home feels heavy right now, take a deep breath. We all need to take a deep breath. Maybe even look around the room you're in. What would it look like to meet that space with curiosity instead of criticism? Then run through Dash. Declutter, assess, systematize, habitize. Notice which step needs attention this week and start there. And if you want help putting that into practice to see how each step of Dash works and get access to the full masterclass along with the monthly resets and resources that help you be consistent, come join us inside Clutter Cure Club. It's where I teach this work live, walk you through each piece of the framework, and help you stay grounded when life and clutter start to pile up. You can find that link in the show notes, and I can't wait to talk to you all next week. Ready, set, simplify. Bye.